Hi class, good afternoon. As you're working on your revisions for writing assignment 2, your compare and contrast essay, I wanted to take a second and go over reference page citation tips. This is a common area of slight misunderstanding with a lot of students, and it can be confusing. So I just want to give you a few pointers. You'll find all these pointers in a PDF also attached to this news article, so you can download that PDF to look at and read over. I'm first going to talk to you about using citations from database articles. This will come in handy particularly for writing assignment 3, where you are required to use 4 sources from the UMUC library databases, and 3 of those need to be scholarly articles. So when you are searching the UMUC databases and you're selecting an article, you get a view like this, where you can see the author listed and the source, tells you the type, and obviously up here is the title. You want to make sure when you are doing your citation in your text that you're using the author's last name. If there's an author, this is the information you always need to cite. And the year of publication. If there's no year, you would put ND in your in-text citation. And if there's no author, you would want to put the title of the article. Occasionally you have a situation where the source is the article, like an organization would be the article. If you're confused about what to put, you can always send me your information and ask me. You can ask a librarian, or you can just do your best and try to put as much information as possible. Here's the list of the information you need to include in your reference page citation. So you should always have an author's last name, comma, first initial. If you have more than one author, you need to make sure to look up how to do this. You can use the Purdue OWL APA citation guide for this. They will have an example for how to do just about every type of citation you would need. You want to include the date of publication in parentheses. You would not put the date, the month and the day. You want to write the month out, at least abbreviated. You wouldn't use the numerical equivalent for the month for the date of publication. The article title, and then you would put the periodical name. This is the journal, newspaper, magazine. If there's a volume and issue number for this periodical, you would include that next, followed by the page numbers on which you found the article, and finally the DOI or the URL, the retrieved from. If there's a DOI, you just put the DOI. If it's a URL, you put retrieved from the URL. So for that source that I just gave you, and again, you can follow along on the PDF that I included, this is the link for it. This is what my citation was given from a student in a prior class. I have the author's name and part of the date. It's not a complete date, it's just the year. He does give me the title of the article, but that's it. And then the retrieve from link. I see a lot of citations like this on the reference page, and this is not a complete citation. It doesn't tell me what source this article came from. It doesn't give me the full date of publication. And because of the type of source, it should also include issue number, volume number, and page numbers. That is all given. Oh, excuse me. Didn't mean to do that. So I have this information, and my citation should look like this. I didn't include the URL here. I'm just saying you should put the URL. All right, so we have Barcott B, period, and then parentheses the full date, which is right here. But I'm not putting that date. I'm writing it out, year, comma, full month, and the day. Close my parentheses, another period. Here's my title, a period. The journal, magazine, publication title, it goes here in italics. And then I have the issue number, which is 1200. It tells me right there. And the page numbers. Finally, there's no DOI for this article, so I would put the URL as above. When you're using information from a website, your citations get a little more tricky. This is one good reason to stick to anything you can find in the library databases. However, there's an article which I've linked to you in the PDF that gives a good explanation of how to cite information from a general website. They also give you this picture, what they call the egg. And I like this metaphor here. In the yolk, you have things that are pretty easy to cite. You generally have an article title and you have a periodical title, and there may be issue and volume numbers, but if not, there will probably be page numbers. These things should have a complete amount of information. Usually they're going to have an author, so they should be more easy to cite and straightforward. But when you go into the general web, you get a lot of different type of information, and sometimes you may need to use this type of information, but in the yolk, it's a little more murky and it's not quite as clear how to cite it. So, if you were to cite from a source, like the source that I'm just quoting here, for example, this is actually from a blog post from the APA Style blog, and I would cite it as a blog. So if you're citing from a specific type of source that falls within this yolk, a blog, an interview, a movie, YouTube video, information on a page even, you want to cite still the author, if there's an author, the full date in which it was published, the title of the blog post, and then in brackets, you tell me what type of source that is if there's no further complete information, and then give me the retrieved by link. So that's basically how you want to do it from a basic web page, still giving me as much information as possible. The blog post is done in brackets to help you determine what type of source it was from a website. And again, if there's no author for the article, you would generally put the title of the article or the web page in lieu of the author in that location. Basically, the most important thing is to include as much information as you can from your website and to look for the information. Sometimes the author is at the bottom of the page, or the date of publication is at the bottom of the page, or in a different location. So you might have to do a little hunting around for it, but many times I am able to click on a link where the student has given me a reference citation that is not complete, and I'm able to find a lot of the missing information from that link. So you need to just make sure to look for that carefully. If you have any questions about your reference page citations, again, you can contact me. You can ask a UMUC librarian. They know how to do this also. And also you can, don't forget to submit your papers to the Effective Writing Center, who can also help you with any citation or research issues. Thanks a lot. Good luck.